flip-flops on, singing to that highway song. Got a little naive smile, the kind that drives you out. Nothing like playing with fire, brings boy to life. Be with the fuse you light, you're good, you're dynamite. You made my day when you walked and sat down beside me, whispered with your eyes, let's go. You made me say, what's your name, girl, you're lonely. Can I call you if I ever go down this road? And I can't seem to find the thing I wanna say. Girl, you made my day. Back on nowhere to go, crank up the radio. No talking all night long, I'm writing you a song. You got the pedal down, can't help but laugh out loud. Two kids ain't going nowhere, it's fast without a care. You made my day when you walked and sat down beside me, whispered with your eyes, let's go. You made me say, what's your name, girl, you're lonely. Can I call you if I ever go down this road? And I can't seem to find the thing I wanna say.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
14:20 in the morning, 14 minutes and 20 seconds where the sports talk to get you through your daily commute. Hot takes, recaps, best bets, and a little humor to get your day going in the right direction. Sit back, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. All right, 14:20 in the morning for this March the 16th, 2023. Today's show, as every morning, is brought to you by Barn Burner Sport or barnburnerhockey.ca, and that's barnburnerhockey.ca. Use promo code 1420BARN at barnburnerhockey.ca for 10% off their all I'll get it right one of these days for 10% off their all natural hockey products and apparel at barnburnerhockey.ca. I got thinking a little bit yesterday, because that's what I do down here at World Headquarters, about things to talk about, and it kind of made me get to thinking a little bit. I got to slow down on the coffee in the morning, but anyways, it got me thinking a little bit of the Major League Baseball rules, which have been a big success so far. You watch the World Baseball Classic and how all of a sudden the games are they seem to be going so slow in comparison. And it's kind of funny how not that long ago we were complaining about the rules being different, but the Baseball Classic, the games are taking a little bit longer, and then you go watch a spring training game, they're the right pace, the pace of play. It's funny how short our memories are. But anyways, I got thinking about different sports and different things. Of course, I'm a hockey guy as well, not just a baseball guy. I'm a two-dimensional kind of sports fan here at World Headquarters. But I got thinking about some rule changes that hockey could make that might make the game a little more interesting, might bring us some different fans in, might change things up a little bit. Yes, they're constantly evolving the game. Like I said the other morning, they are thinking of some different rules and different ways to make the game better. Like I said, the game is in a pretty good spot right now, better than it has been in a long time. But there's always ways that they could really juice things up a little bit and make things a little bit better, and get some scoring up. Because scoring, you can always have more goals. And like nobody will ever say, "Oh man, that was a bad hockey game when it was 6-4." Right? The 2-1ers can get to be a bit of a snoozer sometimes. 3-1ers get some scoring up. I got about 5. I don't know if I'll get to them all this morning at 14:20 in the morning, but we'll give it a shot anyways. Right off the bat, I would make a 2-minute minor, 2 minutes no matter what. You can just score at will. You get a 2-minute penalty if a team scores. Then the guy comes out of the box within 15 seconds sometimes, right? I think that they could just leave that guy in the box. If he commits an infraction, gets a penalty, he should have to spend the entire 2 minutes in the box, and the team can just line up and score as many goals as humanly possible in that 2 minutes. And imagine if it was a 5-on-3 situation where it's double, like you get 2 guys in the box and just scoring out will. It would change, like your roster construction might change a little bit, because you'd have to have some more penalty kill kind of guys, more guys that can do that kind of a situation. It would change the way the game is coached a little bit, change the way the game is played a little bit. Guys would think twice about taking a penalty so often and everything else. So that would increase scoring, maybe not increase scoring, because it's not like they're scoring at 80% of the power plays anyways, but it would increase scoring opportunities, and it would increase a lot of offensive action in the zone and everything else. Yes, there would probably be more icing and everything, not icing, but dumping the puck down the ice, because that's not exciting either. But I think having a guy in the box for the entire 2 minutes wouldn't be a horrible thing. The next one I would do is I would eliminate offsides in overtime. Hear me out. It's already a 3-on-3, and if the team wants to have a guy down the far end cherry picking the entire time, a la Pavel Brendel, if anybody remembers him back in the Calgary Hitmen days, back in the 90s, there he got drafted pretty high, and I thought he was going to be a big goal scorer. But it turns out he played like 8 games, I think, in the National Hockey League, whatever that was. But I would eliminate offsides completely. You've already decided that the game at that point, you've already altered the way the game's played by going 3-on-3, and you've also said that the outcome of the game doesn't much matter at that point, because you go to a skill competition between two guys at the end of the game anyways. So why not just go no matter what, no power, no offsides, have, if it's a 2-on-3 in the one end, whatever, nobody cares. Ice it down, the guy goes, see you later, breakaway, done deal. No offsides whatsoever. Open it right up, have an even bigger skills competition. Give that a go in the in the overtime session of a hockey game. I don't think that's a horrible idea. Comment if I'm wrong. Let me know how wrong I am, or let me know how right I am later on. But another one that I would do, no matter what, other than throwing the puck in the net, high sticks, kicking it in, however it goes in, it goes in. That would help a lot of things, because nobody actually knows what the rules are. A distinct kicking motion is the thing, but I've seen a lot of pucks go in the net, and you don't know what a distinct kicking motion is nowadays. I always thought that a kick was a kick. Like, you get kicked in the nut, you get kicked in the nuts, you get kicked in the nuts. Like, it's one of those things, right? And so I think that, like, no matter what, as long as a guy isn't blatantly picking the puck up and throwing it in the net, if he pushes it in with his fist, if he's laying on his stomach and there's a scramble in front of a guy, if it goes in, it goes in. High stick, who cares if it's 4 feet, 6 feet? If it goes in, it goes in. It increases scoring. It changes the way goalies have to play the game a little bit. It goes in, it goes in. You celebrate, you're happy, your team scored, and that's just the way it is. Goal scoring it's hard to do. So why the NHL decides to make it even harder, I have no idea. Goalies have a distinct advantage nowadays with the way their equipment is, and we'll get to that in half a second too. But I think that is one thing that they could do to increase scoring, and then there's no questions, and then you don't have the long delays either with the video review and everything else. And it's a situation you get into where it's in the net, done. Like I said, other than picking it up and throwing it a la Roger Clemens throwing it the broken bat at Mike Piazza, it should be a goal no matter what. It gets rid of those long reviews that can really take the momentum away from a hockey game. I don't think that that's a bad idea at all. And let me know what you guys think about that one. Next one. I'm an old goalie, an old flailing tender, like you guys have heard, listened to the show before. One thing that I would do is with the protection that goaltenders have nowadays, and the size of the equipment, and with the way the technology can have, I would shrink the goal equipment even more than it is already. Goalies now, I'm going to probably get persecuted for saying this, and to my goaltender brethren, I apologize. Goaltending isn't as much of a skill now as it used to be. Now it's about size. They're like, a lot of goalies are really, really big guys in comparison to what it was 20, 30 years ago. And it's the thing that now you have goalies like Vasilevsky. He's great. Absolutely. 100%. He's great goaltender. But I would shrink the goal equipment back to what it was back, because the protection is better. So it doesn't cover as much as net. I would go back to days of Grant Fuhr and Bill Ranford, Mike Vernon. Those were Alberta goalies. Kirk McLean back in with the Vancouver Canucks. Back in those days, Mike Richter with the Rangers. I would shrink the goal equipment even more to get it back to those sizes, because the protection is better. The stuff that they're wearing now, because now they're teaching goaltending as a skill set, like stand here, move here, do this, do that. And goaltenders have no style anymore, and that they're not forced to make saves. Pucks tend to hit goaltenders more now than ever. And the way that the position is taught now, and the way it's learned from a very young age, it's slide here, slide there. And I would have goaltender equipment even smaller to force goaltenders to be better, just to be an actual goaltender and be forced to make saves. And I don't think I think that would increase scoring a little bit. It would increase the goaltender's abilities. It would showcase who's a puck stopper and a guy who has pucks hit him. I don't think, and now with the way that the technology is and have it, so goalies are still protected, and make sure that, but shrink things down even more. It's a lot better than it was than the Garth Snow days back in the mid '90s and and the like, when goalies they could just cover the entire net with just what they were wearing, that you couldn't see anything. But they have shrunk it down considerably from what it was back then. But I think shrinking it down to the size of what used to be purchased at your local sports store back in the early 90s might not be a horrible idea. Don't go back to the early 80s, like with the Mike Palmateer kind of stuff. But I think having a happy medium somewhere, which it was the Bill Ranford kind of equipment, the Von Legacies and those kind of pads. Man, I'm dating myself a little bit here, but I think that's something that could be done to make the game a little bit better and increase scoring a little bit and make goaltenders a little more recognizable. And because now you don't know who's playing for who. They all look the exact same. They all have the same flair, the same substance. Like nobody stands out anymore. They're just the guys who pucks hit them. They don't stop pucks. If you guys understand what I'm saying, I appreciate it very much. The number 5, what I would do is in the playoff races are already set. Like we talk about a lot on this show, is how the playoffs get set. You already know who's playing who, and it's only March the 16th. And yeah, there is some jockeying in the bottom, but and some teams are they're on the bubble, licking the jar, as 1420 Dave likes to say. But I would have this. Now this one might sound a bit ridiculous, but I would have the team that finishes first overall in the conference. It's in the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. I would have them be allowed to choose who they play in the first round of the playoffs. If they want to play the number 8 seed, great. If they want to play the number 2 seed, great. Whoever they want to play. I think that would really change things up a little bit. And then the rest of the seeding would be done after that, but it would change things up a little bit, and that there would be a race for that first overall position, and it would make teams play out the way that they play against everybody. It would change the way the back leading into the home stretch and the games like now, where the Bruins might want to sit a guy. I mean, they're well in front, and they have first overall in the East pretty much locked up. But it would change things up a little bit. You have to pick your opponent, and not just because the 8th place team, you might have had a rough go against your matchup, whatever was supposed to be in the first round, which would be 8. So you might have had a rough go with them that season. And the number two seed, you may have licked them up all season long and beat them up all year long all over the ice. So having them play at a different spot might not be the worst idea. And then it would liven things up for the rest of the conference, not knowing who the playoff matchups are. And don't say travel, and it might be a travel situation. Maybe the travel is a little bit different, going time zone to time zone. Like Dallas has to go to LA or something. They might want to change that up and not go. They might not want to travel up to Winnipeg. It might be one of those situations where they pick who they play, and then they don't have to face McDavid in the first round. You never know what he could do. So winning the conference might be something and give them more of a reward than some President's Trophy that nobody gives a shit about. They want to win a Stanley Cup, I would think. Give them a chance to pick who they want to play, and then here you go. It's a done deal. That's what it's going to be, and that's who we're going to play. And it would really liven things up for the rest of the conference and for the rest of the fans to and then the pick on the next day. You would probably know by the time it got around, it would leak out who they're probably picking. But it'd be great for television to go on, do it the same day as the entry draft lottery. Have that a done deal, because the season's over. Do the entry draft lottery and then have the pick on TV, who's playing who in the first round. I think it would be great drama for television. It's all made for TV now anyways, so why not do that and then make it more interesting for the fans and have something to change up. And you don't know who anybody's playing until the day the playoffs start. I know that there's television and everything else that they have to consider, but they're going to be in certain cities anyways. Like, you're still going to have the base city as the base city. Yes, the TV production thing, but they'll make it work. They always do, no matter what. It's just logistics and doing something a little bit different. And having that first round, not knowing who you're playing until afterwards. Like I said, the first place team, and then the coaching would have to get a little bit better, because they're not already planning what they're going to do in the first round. Because like I said, the Leafs and the Lightning, they already know they're playing each other in the first round. So it would change up the coaching dynamics and everything else to make it a lot more interesting, a lot more fun for fans, and I think for broadcasters and the players alike. It would be a different dynamic and something that the sports world hasn't seen, and it maybe change things up and get the NHL a little bit relevant. Is it a Mickey Mouse idea? A little bit, but Why not try something different and see how it works? Or try it in the American Hockey League or the East Coast League or somewhere different. Try some of these ideas in those leagues and the like baseball did with their rules. They didn't just institute them into the major leagues. They tried them in the minor leagues and the independent associations. Give it a shot, see how it works, see what the fans think, see what the coaches think, see what the players think, and before you know it, these are the rules. And it's just part of the sports world. I don't know. That's my rant for the day. So that's just one of those things I like to think about things to talk about and let you guys have your barroom conversations later on tonight when you go and hoist a couple. Anyways, happy birthday to the who was it today? Happy birthday to the Grandy man. I don't know. I didn't save it. Doesn't much matter. Happy birthday to Curtis Granderson, the Grandy man, born on this day in 1981 in Blue Island, Illinois. Drafted by the Detroit Tigers, third round in 2002. Granderson played 16 seasons in the big leagues for Detroit, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Marlins, the Brewers, the Blue Jays, and of course, 4 years as a New York Yankee, 2 as an All-Star with the Yankees. The Grandy man can, as John Sterling used to say, hit 344 home runs, 937 RBIs, and a 249 batting average in his career. Heck of a player, heck of a smile. He was always a gamer, and it looked like he really enjoyed playing the game. I loved Granderson when he was on the Yankees. It was always a great player, always fun to watch, and everything else. It was a pleasure to watch him play on a nightly basis when he was with the Yankees. There it is. Happy birthday to the Grandy man, born on this day in whatever year it was, 1981. Man, I'm old. If he's 81 and he's born in 81 and he's retired already. I think it's funny how things all work out that way. But anyways, thank you everybody for listening to the show. Make sure you guys share this one to everybody out there out there in the world, out there. Get this in your ears every day. Thank you for watching on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and on I think our Twitter feed shows it as well. So every morning, but make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to our show on YouTube or on Facebook, and like, share, and all that stuff because it helps us to get up the rankings. And it's analytics. You guys wouldn't, you might understand, but who knows if you would or not. So rate, review, and subscribe to the show wherever it is you get your podcasts. Thank you very much for listening. We're doing 14:20 in the morning. A little bit later tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I got James Tubb from the Medicine Hat News. We're going to talk about the Western Hockey League and the Tigers' push for that last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference of the Western Hockey League. So that should be a good conversation there. So some more hockey talk. Remember to support our sponsor, barnburnerhockey.ca, for 10% off and everything else that we got going on. So that's very important that you do that on a daily basis. What else do we got? And remember, it doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're with. You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it. The Flailing Tender Hockey Podcast is happy to have partnered up with Barn Burner Hockey. Barn Burner Hockey is a hockey lifestyle brand that is motivated by making all-natural, chemical-free hockey products for players of all ages and skill levels. Get yourself the Filthy Mist deodorizing equipment spray, the Dirty Dangles 2-in-1 shampoo and body wash. They've also got 2 different types of stick wax, hockey accessories, and apparel that will not only make you look good, but feel great on and off the ice. So go to barnburnerhockey.ca and use promo code 1420BARN and receive 10% off your purchase. That's 1420BARN at checkout at barnburnerhockey.ca. Barn Burner Hockey is so confident that you will love their all-natural products, they offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Barn Burner Hockey and the Flailing Tender Hockey Podcast, created for players by players.